Good morning. Good morning. What's going on, you beautiful people? It's 2:53 a.m. I'm on my way. Actually, on my way out to the track to run a little bit in this weather. And I got up this morning and I got to tell you something. You can get to a place within yourself where you have a level of, it's like a level of peace. I was listening to something where T.D. Jakes said, God is faithful to handle what you have asked him to do. He says, but if you're going to stay up worrying all night, I'm going to go to sleep. And there's been so many different things that I've been challenged with lately that you almost get to one or two extremes. You get to one where you say, I just don't think it's going to work out. And I don't think it's going to happen for me. Right? And that's usually the one right as you're getting ready to give up and settle in. Right? You know, the workout. Oh man, this weight. I got thyroids or I got whatever. This ain't ever gonna work. I quit. Or, oh man, I'm gonna keep going after that promotion. But yet somebody else get picked ahead of you. And you say, it's just not in the cards for me. It's not meant to be. And then you give up and you settle into the same position at your job that you've been in for the past 10 years. Never moving past the point that you came in at. Or you go to the other end of the spectrum and you say, you know what? I know he'll work it out. And no matter what, I'm not going to quit. I heard Tony Robbins say, when I started visualizing what I wanted, within 6 months, I had that limo I wanted. Within 1 year, I was living in that house I envisioned. Now, in a perfect world, we like the idea of our dreams and what we want coming to fruition within 6 months and a year. But I was also listening to ESPN while I was sitting at lunch with my wife. And they were talking about Troy Brown. I think that's his name, with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And they said something about being one of very few to be gifted and blessed with an athletic ability. See, had I had tricked myself into believing that I was Tony Robbins and that my vision was to come to fruition within 6 months to a year. I mean, I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm just saying that there's a real possibility that I was setting myself up for failure in all aspects of the word. Because just because it happened for them in 6 months or 1 year doesn't mean that that's how it's supposed to happen for me. But sometimes we'll look at other people's success and try to measure ours up against it and say, why not me? You have to accept the fact that your blessing ain't always going to come at the same time everybody else is. And it's not always going to come looking like theirs is. Well, they were blessed with a new Mercedes, so I'm going to wish for a new Mercedes. Maybe you ain't even supposed to have a Mercedes. Maybe you're supposed to do something else with your money. But when you deny yourself to even explore what your heart is really wanting, and I'm not talking about what your flesh wants. Your flesh is all over the place. Your flesh does a lot of things. But I'm talking about what it legitimately, genuinely wants. What your spirit wants. That one spectrum where you're coming up short and you're quitting just as you're getting ready to get there because you don't believe it's going to happen. You immediately get the shift to the other spectrum and you get to say, maybe that's not my blessing. Maybe I'm not supposed to get it in 6 months to 1 year. But I know I'll get it. But I know it'll happen. And I have a made up mind that says I won't quit. No matter what, I won't quit. I won't stop. I won't give up. When you build that kind of mentality and you say, it doesn't mean everything's going to work out right. It don't mean you ain't going to be tempted on all sides. But when you have that mentality and you say no matter what, right? Hey, my client wasn't 150% happy about the outcome. Art Williams said, all you can do is all you can do, and all you can do is enough. As long as you're giving it all you can give, it's always enough. Not everybody's going to be happy at the end of the day. Not all the time are you going to be looking at it saying that was the best. But if you stick around long enough, you'll get to see the fruits of your labor. And they might not come in the form of what your flesh wants, but there's a very good chance that they'll come in the form of what your spirit wants. And when you have a real talk with yourself about the difference between what your flesh and your spirit is calling for, you might find out that you've been yearning for the wrong thing the whole time. And the reason why you keep quitting is because you're chasing after something that you really don't want. That's going to be hard for a lot of people to comprehend because we think we want money because we ain't ever had it. We think we want that brand new Mercedes because we ain't ever drove nothing foreign. But when you get the bill for the oil change and the tune-up on that brand new Mercedes, if you pay it with a smile, then you know that that's something you really wanted. But if you pay for it with a frown, then you know that you was chasing after something from your flesh. See, understand, you can decipher between what the flesh wants and what you want in order to stay in line with your purpose and to keep driving forward and never quit by simply analyzing the fact on whether or not it's something that you really wanted. And you know if you really want it because the price is never too high. I've had cars that I thought I wanted, then I go get it serviced and I'm looking at it like, I don't think I want this anymore. But then there's my kids and they try me on each and every angle that they can. But I'll pay the price. You know, those are such extreme examples, but that's how you gotta gauge it. That's how you have to gauge it on whether or not is this really real. Because you can be caught in the matrix all day long running in circles about, I want this, I want that, and then the moment you get it, you're on to something else you want because it wasn't ever really what you wanted in the beginning. So you're just trying to fulfill your life with these empty thoughts and these empty wants. You have to stay driven by staying purposeful. And you have to know what you want. Or quitting just becomes a daily routine.